Thank you so much. Welcome to today's channel, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you about the density. So most probably we are very familiar with this term known as the density. And the density, what is a density? A density of a given substance. Density of a given substance. This one refers to the mass per unit volume, mass per unit volume of a substance, mass per unit volume of a substance. Now, and mass is the quantity of matter in a substance, and volume is the amount of space occupied by an object. Now, this density is always denoted by the Greek alphabet known as rho, written as something like that looks like a P. That is rho. So the density rho is equal to mass per unit volume of a substance, the same as mass over the volume of that given substance. So I just told you that mass is the quantity of matter in an object. And this mass is always measured in kilogram, and the volume is always measured in cubic meter. Now density is equivalent to mass denoted by m over the volume of that given substance. Now, we just say that the mass is always measured in kilograms. So the SI unit of mass is always given by kilogram over the SI unit of volume. The SI unit of volume is cubic meter. So this brings us to a point that the SI unit of density, is always in kilogram per cubic meter. So just from the formula itself tells us that the density is the mass of a substance per unit volume of a substance, now which is denoted by rho is equal to m over v, and the units for mass is always in kilogram, and the units for volume is always in cubic meter. And that brings us to a point whereby the density of a substance, the SI unit is always kilogram per cubic meter. Now, without wasting time, let me do the first question on the board. The first question reads, the density of concentrated sulfuric acid is 1.8 grams per cubic centimeter. So the density rho is equal to 1.8 grams per cubic centimeter. First off, calculate the volume of 3.6 kilogram of the acid. The volume of the acid, you calculate it. The mass of this acid has been given to be 3.6 kilograms. Now, from the formula, the density rho is equal to mass over volume. But when you look at the density, has been given in terms of grams per cubic centimeters, and the mass here is in kilogram. So we can either change the mass in kilogram from kilogram to grams, or we change the density from grams per cubic centimeter into SI units, of which the SI unit of density is kilograms per cubic meter. So I can do either. So for me, I need to change. I can change the density from grams per cubic centimeters in kilogram per cubic meter. Now, when you change the density from grams per cubic centimeter to kilogram per cubic meter, we simply multiply it by 1000. When you multiply it by 1000, this one gives you the density rho is equal to 1800 kilograms per cubic meter. Then you're finding the volume of the given substance. Now, substituting the density mass in the formula to obtain the volume of that given substance of mass 3.6 kilogram. So density 1800 is equivalent to the mass. The mass of the substance is 3.6 over the volume V. Now, the value of V, the volume of sulfuric acid in 3.6 kilograms, this one is equivalent to 3.6 kilograms over the density, which is 1800 kilograms per cubic meter. So the volume of sulfuric acid is 3.6 divided by 1800 So this one gave me 2 times 10 power of negative 3 times 10 power negative 3 cubic meter. So that is the volume of the sulfuric acid in SI unit. So the volume in SI unit is 2 times 10 power negative 3 cubic meter. Question 2 reads, a density bottle of mass of 45 grams when full of paraffin and a mass of 50 grams when full of water. If the empty bottle weighs 25 grams, calculate the density of paraffin. So what is this density bottle? It's just a small bottle in the laboratory that used to calculate, it's used to estimate the density of given liquids in the laboratory. Liquids like paraffin. So in the use of the density bottle, we always use a liquid of known density to obtain the density of other given liquids. For example, the liquid, for example, water. The density of water is always 1 gram per cubic centimeter, which is equivalent to 1,000 kilograms per cubic meter. So when you fill water inside the density bottle, so the volume of water that will be inside the density bottle is equal to the volume of the density bottle. For example, I know most of us are very familiar with this water bottle. So this bottle of water is filled with water. The volume of this water that is inside this container is equal to the volume of the container. But now, because you know the density of the density of water now, using the density of water and the volume of water, we can get the mass of this water. So in this case, the mass of the water has been given, which is the same as in assumption here, we have been given the mass of water and the density bottle. So in this case, the mass of water will always be given, and the density of water cannot or can be given in the question. So using the mass of water and the density of water, we can obtain the volume of water, which will be equivalent to the volume of this given bottle. And a mass of 50 grams when full of water, if the empty bottle weighs 25 grams. So it means that when this, assuming that this is the density bottle, I don't have a practical density bottle here, but assume that this one is 1. We are being told that the mass of the density bottle, when it does not have any liquid, is 25 grams. So when the bottle has water, its mass is 50 grams when it is full of water. Now, because we know the mass of the bottle alone, and we know the mass of bottle plus water, that one can help us find the mass of water that is inside the density bottle. Now, we say the mass of water, this is the same as the mass of the bottle plus water, which is 50 grams. 50 grams minus the mass of bottle alone, which is 25 grams. We have been told that the mass is 25 grams. So this one gives you 25 grams is the mass of water. So we have the mass of water and we have the density of water. So density of water, of fresh water, is always 1 grams per cubic centimeter. This is the mass of water, is 25 grams. Now, using the mass and the density of water, we can get the volume of water inside the bottle. So we know that from the formula, density rho is equal to mass per unit volume. So this implies that the volume of this water, which is the volume of the density bottle, because density bottle contains this water, is equal to mass over the density. So the volume of the density bottle, which is the same as the volume of water, is equal to the mass of water, which is 25 grams, over the density 1. So this one gives you 25 cubic centimeter. So the mass of density bottle, no, the volume of the density bottle is 25 cubic centimeters, which is equal to the volume of water. Now, this volume of water is equal to the volume of the density bottle, which is also equal to the volume of the paraffin, because the same density bottle is which we have the paraffin inside it. So this is the density, the volume of the density bottle, which is the same as the volume of the water, which is the same as the volume of the paraffin. This water, we have it inside the density bottle. When something is inside a given container, it takes the shape and the volume of the container. So this one is the volume of the paraffin. The volume of paraffin inside the container, the density volume of paraffin is equivalent to 25 cubic centimeters. So we have the volume of the paraffin and the mass of the paraffin. So we have been told that the density bottle has a mass of 45 grams when full of paraffin. So the mass of paraffin and the bottle is 45 grams and the mass of the bottle is 25 grams. Oh, so using the mass of the density bottle and the paraffin and the mass of the density bottle alone, we can get the mass of the paraffin inside the density bottle. So the mass of paraffin is equal to the mass of the density bottle plus paraffin, which is 45 grams, minus the mass of the density bottle itself, 25 grams. So this one gives 20 grams. We have the volume of the paraffin and the mass of the paraffin. We can get the density. Density of the paraffin is the same as the mass of the paraffin over the volume. So the mass is 20 grams over 25 cubic centimeter. So 20 divided by 25, and the answer is 0.8 grams per cubic centimeter. So this is the density of paraffin. Question 3. Let me go to question 3. Cubic centimeters of water density is mixed with 300 cubic centimeter of milk of density, 2 grams per cubic. Calculate the density of the mixture. Density of the mixture, is obtained by the formula total mass of the mixture, total mass over the total volume of the mixture. Total volume. Now, the total mass, for example, in this question, we must have the mass of water and the mass of milk, the volume of water and the volume of milk. The volume of water is 1,000 cubic centimeter. The density of water is 1 gram. So using the volume or the density of water, we can get the mass of water. So the mass of water is equal to the volume multiplied by the density of water. So the volume of water in this case is 1,000 cubic centimeters times the density 1 gram per cubic centimeter. So this one gives 1,000 grams. So that is the mass of water. Now the mass of the milk. So the mass of milk also, is equal to the volume of the milk multiplied by the density of the milk. The volume of the milk, which is 300 cubic centimeter, times the density of the milk, which is 2 grams per cubic centimeter. So this one gives 600 grams. That is the mass of the milk. So using the formula, density of the mixture is the same as the total mass over the total volume. So density is the same as total mass, the mass of water now, the summation of mass of water and milk, and summation of volume of water and the volume of the milk. So that is the same as 1,000 grams plus 600 grams over the volume of water, which is 1,000 cubic centimeters, plus the volume of the milk is 300 cubic centimeters. So the density of the mixture, this one gives you 1,600 grams over 1,300 cubic centimeters. So the density of mixture, 1,600 divided by 1,300. The answer is 1.231. 1.231. grams per cubic centimeter. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment, ask me questions, I will answer you. Thank you for your time.